Welcome back. In this video, we're going to introduce a new concept. We're going to introduce the script user interface. So the script user interface is the smallest unit of logic, right? In the function builder, it could be used together in a chain to create some really amazing logic, or it could be used, as one unit to build the same. All right, so this could be seen all over this platform, and I'm just going to show you a couple references within the app builder. So as you can see here, if you look at the element settings in our attributes, we have this script user interface. So like I said before, it's the smallest unit of logic. It has all the types and it's extremely dynamic. You can think of it as pretty much a function, right? So you can reference functions, or you could write code. You could reference variables or parameters. So this is extremely powerful. So we're going to dive deeper into this in just a second, but I'm just going to show you in all the little places where you can see this, where you can expect to see this on the platform. So we're in the element attributes, and we can see the script user interface. If you were to go into, let's say, the animations, again, the script user interface. So animations, for the most part, can be dynamic. All right. So you can see the value here is the script user interface. So this lets you, this gives you the ability to add some logic into everything, into the element attributes, into your animations. Let's close this out because I don't really want to add any animation just yet. If we go back to the styling, in the previous video, we went over dynamic styling, where we had the colors be dynamic, and we referenced the function. When we open that function up, we have the parameter. The parameter intake is a script user interface. Here we put in our logic using code. If we were to pan over to the pages and just go into our page and look at our SEO, if we say we wanted to, let's say, enable dynamic SEO, then our SEO can also use the script user interface. This means that you can have some super dynamic SEO, so maybe based on app data. So, whenever you come across the script user interface, all you need to know is that it's the easiest way, or it's just a simple unit of logic, right? Let's, dive deeper into this. So in a previous video, we went over dynamic styling, and we had this one scenario here where we had the styling or the color change based on an amount. If it was less than 0, we had the color set to red. If the amount was greater than 0 but less than 500, we had the color set to black, and else we had the color set to green. All right, I'm just going to copy this because I'm going to try and reuse it. All right. As you can see, it's green right now because if we jump into our live app data, the amount is 500. If we change that to, let's say, 400, then it's black. If we change that to negative 400, then it's red. All right. So I'm going to jump into the attributes of my heading, and I'm going to switch to code. So I'm going to go to full screen mode really quickly. All right. So as you can see, we have the code tab, the Boolean tab, the number tab, the text tab, the object and array tab, and the function tab, right? So, simply put, this is an input, right? And whichever mode you are in is going to be, is going to factor into whatever is returned. So right now we are in text, and we simply just have this as H1. If we change this to, let's say, H3, now our heading is H3. If we change this to H1, as you can see, it goes right back up to H1. If we change this like a Boolean, well, nothing happens because that makes no sense. If we change this to a number, nothing happens again because that makes no sense. We go back to the text and we change this to H3. As you can see, it has an effect. All right. So let's go ahead and make this dynamic. So I'm going to switch to code. We're going to expand this again. and I'm going to just paste in the logic that we had from our color logic. So if the amount is less than 0, let's change this to, let's say, H6. All right. If the amount is between 0 and 500, let's make this a H3. And if it's in the green, meaning that it's 500 and up, let's change this to a H1. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out. As you can see, we are negative 400. So it's a H6. If we take this to 400, then it's a H3. If we move this to 1400, we're at a H1. So we've basically just used the script user interface to quickly configure some dynamic logic. And we've put that in our heading type attributes. So this can be done with every single attributes. They are all script user interfaces. Let's try and see if we can do something else with this. So one thing you need to know that there is something called expression methods. So you could add expression methods. This is not really factoring into our script user interface right now, what we're trying to do. But let's say we wanted to, let's say, take a copy of this for whatever reason. We could basically just say we want to JSON stringify, and then we want to JSON parse. So what happens is that when it comes to expression methods with the script user interface, it basically is nested. And it's executed in sequence. So the JSON stringify is going to execute first, and then the JSON parse is going to execute next. One thing you need to know is that every single expression, every single method in JavaScript has been carefully and meticulously built into the script user interface. So your for eaches, your dates, includes, filters, JSON, and then we also added a bunch of custom methods. So take some time, go over the methods. It's very easy to understand. If you have some basic knowledge of JavaScript, then this is pretty straightforward. If not, there's a learning curve. But this is all that there is to script user interfaces, the tiniest unit of logic, and you use it as an input. And the beauty of it is that you can take anything from basic to super dynamic, right? And that's pretty much it for this video. See you in the next one.